Barak Yahuwah, Barak Yahuwah, Barak Yahuwah. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom to the whole house, the whole Ba'it of Yashar'al, all 12 tribes, worldwide, wherever your feet are touching the soil, on this most separated, this most Kadush day, which is a sign and a seal and a mark of the everlasting covenant between Yahuwah and his people. It is the day that identifies his people as his covenant people. It is the day that identifies him as the Elohim of creation. Barak Yahuwah. So we say Shabbat Shalom to the elder brother, Yahudym. Shabbat Shalom to the younger brother, Ephraim. Shabbat Shalom to the former stranger, the former foreigner, who was formerly estranged from the everlasting covenant, but having received the Ruach of adoption, the Ruach HaGadush, the Ruach of Yahusha HaMashiach, and whereby having been engrafted into the olive tree, who is Yahusha, who is Yashar'al, and whereby now being privy to the very same everlasting covenant and promise and inheritance that was given to his firstborn, to his Yahid, to his only begotten, to the apple of his eye, Yashar'al, who is the representation of the remnant of the nations, who is the representation of mankind, otherwise known as Adam. Shabbat Shalom to you, wherever your feet are touching the soil on this day. Peace and blessings, shalom and barak'u to you and your entire house, wherever you are, listening under the sound of the Master's voice through me. Shabbat Shalom to you. Shabbat Shalom. Once again, to those of you who are on YouTube who will hear this message, teaching, proclamation, whatever the Master desires to do later on. Once again, welcome to you, to those of you who have been led to listen to Yahuwah's Remnant. This is his channel, to hear his word spoken through his servant. This is not something that we take lightly. We are humbled. We are greatly humbled that the Master would send you our way to hear his words. Once again, to those of you who are on YouTube who will hear this message later on, if you would desire to join us live, either on our fourth day gatherings or on which otherwise our midweek gatherings, otherwise called Wednesday, or on Shabbat, which men call Saturday, there will be an email address located in the description of this video once it is uploaded, that you may use to contact us if you desire to join us live for either our midweek gatherings, otherwise called Wednesday, or our Shabbat gatherings, what men call Saturday. You can use that email address to contact us, to establish contact with us. We'll be glad to hear from you, to discuss fellowship for either one of those days. Some of you among the nations may ask, or may be asking, if you have not been listening to Yahuwah's videos through Yahuwah's Remnant, you may be asking, well, what is Yahuwah's Remnant? Who are we? What is Yahuwah's Remnant? What I can tell you what we are not. We're not some church. We're not some 501(c) organization. We're not some camp, and we're not some ministry. We simply are who we are, and that is Yahuwah's Remnant, a gathering of his remnant people from the four corners of the earth during this end time season, of whom he is sealing with the seal of the living Elohim, with the Ruach HaKadosh, gathering his people unto himself, gathering his lost sheep from amongst the nations who have strayed and who have gone astray, sending a voice, crying out in the wilderness, Barak Yahuwah, gathering his sheep, bringing them back within the safety of the fence, behind the fence, the place where sheep belong, keeping us there, Barak Yahuwah, keeping us there safe, gathered together there safe, to be brought on board the ark of safety, the ark of covenant, just in the nick of time, to be saved from the hour of trial, which is soon to come upon the earth. Barak Yahuwah. And so if you have been drawn to Yahuwah's channel, for whatever reason, if you've been drawn, because indeed his sheep, they hear his voice, and another voice they will not follow. Perhaps you are his sheep. Perhaps you are a remnant. Perhaps you are those who have been gathered, who are being gathered behind the safety of the confine of his fence, being kept there to be brought on board the Ark of the Covenant, to be brought to Mount Zion, safe from the hour of trial, and to be given a song that no one else can sing. Barak Yahuwah. Barak Yahuwah. Once again, welcome to Yahuwah's Remnant. I am Daoud ben Yahuwah, and this is my wife, my Aisha. Boy, that was delayed, wasn't it? I'm going to give her one more chance. I'm going to give her one more chance, nations. Nations, I'm going to give her one more chance. Welcome to Yahuwah's Remnant. I am Daoud ben Yahuwah, and this is my wife, otherwise known as Aisha. Barak Yahuwah. Shabbat Shalom. Barak Yahuwah. Barak Yahuwah. Barak Yahuwah. Here we are, freshly off of the last feast of the season, Sukkot, the Feast of Ingathering, the Feast of Booth, the Feast of Booth, the Feast of Tabernacle. Freshly off of this feast in which the Master indeed did tabernacle with us, provided that he tabernacles in you. You see, the Master, he does new things, beloved ones. We tend to, as flesh, we want to keep him in a box, and we want him to do things that he's already done before. You know, we look for him to do things that he's already done. Can he do so? Sure, he can do so. Would I have loved to have seen a cloud come down and fill that place? Oh, my goodness. Yes, I would have. I would have loved for a cloud to have come down to fill that place. But here's the understanding. That cloud, when it came down the first time, it did what? It filled the tent of tabernacle. Yes, it did. It filled the tent of tabernacle. The second time that cloud came down, it filled the building in which was built by Sovereign Shalama. It filled that place, which was what? Also a tabernacle, which was also a mishkan, a dwelling place. Barak Yahuwah. But now we have the understanding that they didn't have. And that is that the heaven is his throne and the earth is his footstool. What house can we build for him? What house can contain him? That the very same cloud, which is the kabod, which is the presence, which is the Ruach HaKadosh, it now dwells in the booths, the sukkahs, the tabernacle of men. Yes, he still dwells in the midst of his people. And so if he dwells in you, and we were gathered together at the Feast of Tabernacle, tabernacling with him, provided that he tabernacles in you, then he indeed was us. The cloud was there. The cloud was indeed there. Barak Yahuwah, Barak Yahuwah. But indeed, even so, we've, and listen, I'm chief here. I'm talking to myself first now. We got to stop putting the master in a box and expecting the same things to occur that occurred before. The master wants to do a new thing. He wants to do a new thing. Can you perceive it? He wants to do a new thing. Some things that the earth has never seen before, because this is the season and the time that we're in. He wants to do new things. Yes, he does. He wants to do a new thing. He wants to send down latter rain. He wants to send down that latter rain that will enable us to, him through us, to do things that the earth has never seen before. This is what he's preparing to do, a new thing. Not the cloud coming in a tent, because we're not building a tent no more. We are that tent. We are that sukkah. Not the cloud coming down in the building of the tabernacle that Shalama built, because we indeed are that building. We are that building, and the cloud indeed, he dwells in us, provided that he tabernacles in us. And again, this is what he desires above all else, and that is to tabernacle in us. And I don't know about you. I don't know about you. I don't know about any of you, but I indeed left with a hope and an expectation. I left with a hope and an expectation that cannot be moved. And I look forward to that last great day, to where my eyes can finally see my master. My eyes will finally see the one that I have been walking with, that I have been in covenant with, the one who has been leading me in the path of righteousness for his great name's sake. I look forward to that last great day to seeing him. Nevertheless, back now. We're back, and we're back on the ancient path, albeit we've never left it. Even the Feast of Tabernacle is the ancient path. We've never left it, and we're right back down front and center, being focused, although I pray that you never lost focus, being focused on that narrow path, on that hard way, which will lead to everlasting life if we stay in it, and which will lead to Mount Zion. That hard path, that narrow path, that his covenant people and his covenant people alone are walking. And so the master, leading up to the festival of Sukkot, he talked about a separation. He talked about a separation, and that was a separation that was made in the year 722 BCE. Yes, that there was a separation made between the house of Judah and the house of Ephraim, a nation of people that were one, a nation of people that were one stick. In the year 722 BC, that stick was broken, that union was broken, and there came a separation between the house of Yahshua, a separation between the house of Yehudah, which was never divorced. The house of Yahuwah was never, not because of their righteousness, you've heard this, and we're not going to get into this, not because of their righteousness, because of a promise that he made to sovereign Dawood. And so we're not going to get into that, but Yahudah was never divorced. Where Ephraim was divorced and separated, yes they were, in the year 722 BCE. So we find there a separation, a break, a divide that was made in the year 722 BCE. Now, that separation is still here because Ephraim is still divorced unto this day. And Ephraim will not be restored to covenant as a whole until after the great distress, until after the folly has been driven from Ephraim. Not until then will Ephraim as a whole be restored to covenant. And so there was a separation there. There was a separation. Last year, and many of you who are on the Zoom family, you've already heard this. Last year, prior to Sukkot, the master uttered the words. He says, behold, I do a great separation. I do a great separation. So then, there was a separation done in the year 722 BCE between the house of Judah and the house of Ephraim. He began now to, last year said, behold, I do a great separation. And in this great separation, he began to make a distinction. He began to narrow this thing down. He says now, either you are firstborn from above, or you are firstborn from below. In other words, either you are born from my loins, either you are born of Ruach, or you are born of flesh. Either you are good seed, either you are the seed of Yahuwah, or you are the seed of the wicked one. He began to paint this picture now that there is no in between. There is no in between. Either now you are of the seed of Yaakov, or you are of the seed of Esau. Either now you are of the seed of Seth, or you are the seed of Cain. So that's it. There's no in between. Either you're born from above, or you're born from below. That's it. He began to establish that and to make that distinction. He began to make that distinction. But now the master has said, now, I'm going to do a greater separation. He says, I'm getting ready to do a greater separation. What does that mean? What does that mean? He's getting ready to do a greater separation. My. I just believe that that greater separation is going to entail some whom he's even given his breath to. Some whom he's even given his breath to, but are not heeding to his breath, are not heeding to the leading and the guiding of his breath, but are rather catering to their flesh, but rather walking according to their flesh. Even though they have his breath, little one, they're walking as though they're dead. Even though they have his breath, they have life, they're walking as though they're dead. You said, no, how can that happen? How can that happen? Beloved one, did not Judas cast out devils? Didn't he cast out devils? Didn't Judas raise the dead? Did he heal the sick? Yes, he did. When he sent the 12 out, what did he tell the 12? What did he tell them? Heal the sick, raise the dead, cast out devils. Judas was with them. You can't do that without anointing. You can't do that without anointing. So now he says, I'm doing a greater separation. I'm doing a greater separation. And there are those, you've seen them. You've seen them. There are those who say that they have his anointing, that they're full of his ruach, that they're called by him, that they are his prophets and his prophetess, and they make all these boastful claims, but and then they say things that that's from, that is from the master. That is from Yahuwah. But then in the same breath, you see him walking in the flesh. You see him doing things that Ephraim would do. You see him doing these kinds of things. And so as we read the book of Revelation, in particular, Revelation chapter 2 and Revelation chapter 3, he talks about some assemblies. And in some of those assemblies, some of them were near perfect. Were they not? Some of them were near perfect. And he said, you've done this, you did this, but I hold this thing against you. Or I hold this thing against you. And they were near perfect. But I hold this thing against. He's doing a greater separation. Yahshua. Choose this day who you going to serve. Choose this day who you going to serve. And the master is getting ready to do a new thing. He's getting ready to make a greater separation. He's getting ready to without, beyond the shadow of a doubt, show the world who he is and who are not. And there are many who believe that they have his anointing, that they're walking in ruach. He's getting ready to make even a greater separation between you. Yes, you are. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He is getting ready to make even a greater separation between you. One thing that we must understand, he can remove his ruach. He can take him away. And if we quench him, if we disobey him, if we would rather cater to our flesh than to cater to him, he will remove him. Yes, he will. Did he not remove him from Saul? Yes, he did. Saul was anointed. Saul was his anointed one. Saul had his anointing. He had his ruach, and he removed him because of disobedience. In fact, Daud saw this with his own eyes. And Daud, once he realized that he committed sin against him in slaying another man for his wife and taking his wife, when he penned Psalms 31, one of the things he said was, please don't take your ruach from me. Please don't take your ruach from me. And so we're moving now closer to that finish line. And the master is getting ready to do a greater separation. Some people that were hidden are getting ready to be revealed, little one. Some people that have been hidden are getting ready to be revealed. But some people that have been hidden in him and him in them and something inside of them that has been hidden until now. It's getting ready to be revealed. It's getting ready to be revealed. A people that have been hidden, Barak Yahuwah, is getting ready to be revealed, and a greater separation is getting ready to take place. So I don't know what all the master's going to say. We don't have a whole lot of precepts. But if you're taking notes, the title of this message is Searching for the Ancient Path, Part 81. Searching for the Ancient Path, Part 81, Walk as Yahudym. walk as Yahudym. To those of you who are of the nations, I've already explained to the Zoom family, we just made it back to our destination yesterday, traveling from Sukkot. And normally for Shabbat messages, the master will at least give us precepts. Sometimes the day of the Shabbat and sometimes the day before Shabbat. But he doesn't give me everything that he wants to say. He just speaks through me. He speaks what he wants to say. But today he didn't give us precepts. We do have a precept, and if he desires us to continue, we'll continue from there. This is real time. You are hearing his words real time. I don't know what all he's going to say. I didn't know he's going to say what he just said. I don't know. He speaks. He speaks through his servant. He speaks through this dirt vessel, and you're hearing it real time. And so usually I will say line upon line, precept upon precept, here a little, there a little. I can't say that today. The master wants us to focus on walking as Yahudym, and in walking as Yahudym, we have to imitate and mimic the ultimate Yahudym, who is Yahushua HaMashiach. Yes, because he came as a Yahudym. He came as us to show the Yahudym, his covenant people, how to walk in covenant with the master, how to walk as Yahudym. And it is these Yahudym of whom he's coming to get in a short while. That stick, that one half of the stick, that's over here across the finish line, yes, that's over here, and that other dividing line is Ephraim, and whomever is joined to Ephraim, who is still divorced, who has been divorced since the year 722 BCE. But in order to be on this side of the line, which is the line of his covenant people, of Yahudym, we've got to be walking, acting, doing the things of a Yahudym, looking just like our master Yahushua. Indeed, if it doesn't look like him, it's wrong. If it doesn't look like him, it's wrong. It is these people who are hidden, of whom he is coming to get in a short while, to bring on board his ark, to save from the distress, the hour of trial, that time of death, of unprecedented death that the world, the earth has never seen before, when death puts on flesh and manifests and comes to this earth and has complete autonomy over all of the living dead. Complete autonomy over all of the living dead, to strike the living dead with pestilence and boils and death and affliction for 3.5 years. And if those days are not short, no flesh will remain. And so now we've got to get back center line. Center line. We've enjoyed the feast. We've celebrated with the master. But listen, none of those feasts mean a thing if we're not walking as Yahudym. If we're not walking as Yahudym, because those feasts are merely shadows. They are shadows of what is to come. Hidden within them is the master's redemption plan for his people. And part of those feasts, some of those feasts, they point towards Yahudah. Yes, they do. You should know that by now. They point toward Yahudah. Yes, they do. Some of them point towards Yahudah. And it is Yahudah, the elder son, the elder daughter, of whom he is coming to gather to bring into himself in a short while, and to bring to Mount Zion, and to be given a song that no one else can sing, to be saved from the hour of trial, to be saved from death in just a short while. And so now we've got to get back. We've got to walk as Yahudym. We've got to now refocus and recenter our attention on what it looks like to walk as Yahudym. Searching for the ancient path, part 81. Walk as Yahudym. Walk as Yahudym. And walking as the Yahudym today, we're going to look at the ultimate example. We're going to look at Yahushua HaMashiach. And so if you have your text, turn now to Matthew chapter 17. Matthew chapter 17. I don't even know if we're going to get beyond Matthew 17. But the last time the master spoke through his servant regarding Matthew, we've been going through the book of Matthew, if you remember. We left off at chapter 16. Today we're continuing in chapter 17. Yahu, chapter 17. Matthew, chapter 17. Yahu, chapter 17. Matthew, chapter 17. The Bashor, the good news of Matthew, Yahu, chapter 17. Beginning at verse 1. Begin reading, little one.
And after 6 days, Yahusha took Kapha and Yaakov and Yehukanan his brother and brought them up on a high mountain by themselves.
He brought the sons of thunder, Yahukanan and Yaakov and Kapha, the leaders of the assembly, up to a high mountain, up to a high mountain, up to a high mountain. There's something about mountains. I'm drawn to mountains. He's put it in my ruach to be drawn to mountains. I'm drawn to them. Not in the way that the heathen are drawn to them, because they too are drawn to mountains, because they worship their mighty ones on high places, don't they? Yes, they do. Yes, they do. But I'm drawn to the mountain of Yahuwah. I'm drawn to Mount Zion. I'm drawn to mountains. There's something about mountain, little one. Something about mountain. But he led them up to a high mountain, secluded by themselves. Come on, read. What happened?
And he was transformed before them.
And he was transformed before them. Now, this in most translations is called the Mount of Transfiguration. And he was transformed before them. That is something that the master wants his people who are hidden to understand. See, he was transformed. But that which was hidden was made plain sight, hear him, and plain sight to Kapha, to Yahukanan, and to Yaakov. What was in him, what was in him, what was hidden, Barak Yahuwah, was made plain to them. Was made plain. Now let's look at this word transform. Let's look at this word transform. Now this word transform in the Greek is the word metamorpho. Metamorpho. This is the word in which we get the word metamorphosis from. In other words, a change, a physical change, a supernatural change as to a caterpillar going into a cocoon. And after some time, it comes a metamorphosis. A metamorpho takes place, and it comes out as a different creature. It went in as a worm, but it came out as a butterfly. It comes out as a, y'all don't understand. If any man be in Mashiach, he is a new creature. All things are passed away. Behold, all things have become new. See, there's something hidden in some of us. Y'all don't understand. Yahuwah is light. And if he is in us and us in him, there's something hidden in us that the world may not be able to see, but is in us. This same thing was in the Mashiach, but no one else seen this but Kapha and Yahukanan and Yaakov. It was in him. What was in him? The Father was in him. The Father was in him, who shines at the brilliance of the sun. He was in him. And there he was transformed as Masha was transformed on another mountain. As he was transformed. And he came down and the people were very afraid of him. I think they were afraid too, little one, when he transformed. Come on, read.
And his face shined like the sun.
And his face shined like the sun. You stop right there for just a minute. So, because they don't believe yet. I beseech ye, brethren, by the mercies of Elohim, that you present yourselves as a living offering, kadosh and acceptable unto them. And do not be conformed to this world, but be ye transformed. You know what that word is? Metamorpho. Metamorpho. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your minds, of your soul, of your nephesh, that you may know what the good and acceptable and perfect will of Yahuwah, our Elohim, is. It's in you. This is in us. If the Father is in you. Same word, metamorpho. When he comes upon us, we are transformed into his image. You may not see it, but as the Master began, we are people hidden. But he revealed himself to them three. He revealed who we are. One in the Master in us. Who we are and what is in us. This same thing is in us. They don't believe, little one. This is in us. There's a metamorphosis that takes place when a Ruach, when the Father, when a Ruach HaKadosh comes upon us. This very same bright nature, do you not understand? That when he comes upon us, that the bright nature that Adam and Kua had in the garden is restored to us. You may not see it, but that bright nature has been restored. Oh, there's a people hidden that he's talking to. There's a people hidden that he's talking to. You know who these people are, little one? They Yahudym. They his covenant people. They are his covenant people. And so he revealed to them what they didn't understand, that this same bright nature is in you. It's getting ready to come upon you on that day of Shabu'u. This bright nature is getting ready to come upon you. This is who you are. This is what is hidden. This is what is inside of you. And I am thoroughly convinced, little one, that the powers of darkness know it. They can see it. They can see that bright nature. Because he would simply walk into a place, and they would just go crazy. What do we have to do with you, Yahushua, son of the living Elohim? Is it yet our time? They can see. How many of you go into a public place, or you go on your job, and people just go, they go crazy around you. They don't like you for no reason. And they just say mean things to you for no reason. Them devils can see, I'm telling you. They can see the bright nature inside. They can see the metamorphosis that has taken place. These people, this is getting ready to be revealed. This is getting ready to be revealed. I believe with all of me that Masha was a shadow. That he was a shadow, that when he came down from that mountain transformed, and his face shone, and the people were afraid of him. I believe that is a shadow of what is getting ready to be revealed in these end times. A people hidden. A people hidden. He was transformed on that mountain, little one. Read, come on, metamorpho.
And his garments became as white as the light. And see, Masha and Eliyahu appeared to them, talking with him. And Kapha answering said to Yahushua, Master, it is good for us to be here. If you wish, let us make here 3 booths.
3 what?
3 booths.
3 what?
3 booths.
So in other words, there was a tabernacling going on. Yes, ma'am. There was a tabernacling there. Going on. They were tabernacling with the living Elohim. They were tabernacling with him. But the living Elohim now here, he's flesh. He came in flesh. And what you see here was something that was already inside of him. Y'all don't understand. This very same metamorphosis, this very same bright nature is in us, provided that he is tabernacling with us. He is, there is a sukkah, there is a sukkut, a booth. This very same bright nature is in us. So Kapha, not knowing what to say, Master, it's good. It's good for us to be here. He don't know what to say. He don't quite understand what is being taken place. He don't quite understand that Kapha. You see, this is what it looks like to be called a son of Elohim. This is what it looks like, Kapha. Get this understanding that this is what it looks like to be a son of Elohim. To have the bright nature of your father. Oh, little one, I believe with all my being that this is what is in me. The very bright nature of Yahuwah al-Shaddai. This is what it looks like, Kapha, to be a son of Elohim. Get the lesson here. Why do you think I brought you up here, Kapha? To see a light show? I brought you up here to show you what it looks like to be a son of Elohim, and to show you something else. To show you, Kapha, that I put on flesh, and I have to go die for you. There's something that I've come to accomplish. But Kapha, understand something. This bright nature is getting ready to come upon you, because this is the promise that I gave to Adam, that I was going to restore that bright nature, and that I was going to bring him back into paradise after 5 1/2 days. I'm going to restore that bright nature, Kapha. that I promised to Adam. And you're seeing it with your very own eyes. Oh, a people hidden understand. A people hidden understand what's taking place here. Come on, read.
One for you, one for Masha, and one for Eliyahu. When he was still speaking, see, a bright cloud overshadowed them. And see, a voice came out of the cloud saying,
What do you say, little one?
This is my son, the beloved.
This is my what?
This is my son, the beloved.
Oh, my. Come on.
In whom I did delight.
In whom I did delight. Wait a minute. Hold up. Now this is Zoom family. And many of you who going to hear this later on, you share the same belief, the same truth. That Yahushua is Yahuwah. He is Yahuwah wrapped up in flesh. But now he speaks from a cloud saying, this is my beloved son. Oh, somebody going to understand. Somebody going to get this, little one. Somebody going to get this. That he is a shadow. He is an example of who you are.
Thank you, Master.
A people hidden. The bright nature that was in the garden has been restored to us. He tabernacles with us, provided that he does. And this is what is hidden inside. Do you understand? This is what is hidden inside of all who have been transformed, all who are in Mashiach. Behold, if anyone is in Mashiach, he is a new creature, a renewed creature. Old things have passed away. Behold, all things have become new. We have become transformed. Transformed. If he is in us, and if the master is in us, and he is light, he is unapproachable light. If he is in us, oh, that's something great hidden in us, little one. This is what we see here on the Mount of Transfiguration. And I believe that in this season, as a greater separation is going forward, that are people hidden. They don't believe it. I said we only had one precept, but I dare you to go and look at 2 Baruch, the 70th chapter. Not now, but maybe later. I dare you to go look at 2 Baruch, the 70th chapter, when it talks about a people hidden. I dare you to go look at it. There's a greater separation taking place. A greater separation. Those who are going to Mount Zion, those who are going to Mount Zion are going to look like the Lamb, are going to shine forth like the Lamb. Those who are going to Mount Zion are sons of Elohim. And are going to shine forth like the Lamb. A people hidden is getting ready to be revealed. Come on, read.
Hear him. And when the taught ones heard, they fell on their faces and were much afraid. But Yahushua came near and touched them and said, Rise and do not be afraid. And having lifted up their eyes, they saw no one but Yahushua only. And as they were coming down from the mountain, Yahushua commanded them, saying, Do not mention the vision to anyone until the son of Adam is raised from the dead. And his taught ones asked him, saying, Why then do the scribes say that Eliyahu has to come first? And Yahushua answering said to them, Eliyahu is indeed coming first, and shall restore all. But I say to you that Eliyahu has already come. And they did not recognize him, but did to him whatever they wished. In this way the son of Adam is also about to suffer by them. Then the taught ones understood that he had spoken to them about Yahuwah the immerser. And when they came to the crowd, a man came up to him.
Stop right there. Yahuwah. I had to put the brakes on, y'all.
Thank you, Master.
I had to put the brakes on. So all Yahuwah is coming, and he shall restore all. We find this in Malachi chapter 4, that he's going to come and turn the hearts of the children back to the fathers and the hearts of the fathers back to the children. But he had also come in Yahuwah the immerser. Not all Yahuwah himself, but the anointing, the Ruach, the anointing of all Yahuwah is to come, and it had come. But there again, that's something that very important happened on that mountain. Something there was a transformation, there was a transfiguration to show what it is and who it is that is in the sons of Elohim. This is who we are. This is who we are. This is truly who we are. This is what is hidden in us. This is what is hidden in us as sons of Elohim. And in this season, in this muadah of people hidden, it's getting ready to be revealed. Now, he said something else very interesting here. He said, do not tell anyone about the vision, what you have seen, until the son of Adam has been lifted up and has been raised from the dead. And have been raised from the dead. Little one, have you been raised from the dead? Barak Yahuwah. I have.
Yes, sir.
Have you been raised with the Mashiach?
Barak Yahuwah.
I have. Have you been raised with the Mashiach? Barak Yahuwah. So if we've been raised with him from the dead, then this is who we are. Us and him in us. We are raised with him. This is what is hidden in us. I wish someone understood. I wish someone understood. This is who we are. This is who we are. That bright nature. That bright nature has been restored. That bright nature that when Yahuwah was caught up on the day of Yahuwah, and he heard a voice speaking to him. And that voice was the Master Yahushua. And his face shone like the sun. His face was as brilliant as the sun. That very same bright nature, is in us, waiting to be revealed. Wait, put your finger there.
Yes, sir.
Keep your finger right there. Somebody go to Romans chapter 8 for me. Somebody get Romans chapter 8 for me.
They muted, so can they?
All right, you got it?
Yes, sir.
Start at verse 9, little one.
Okay. But you are not in the flesh, but in the Ruach.
Yeah.
If indeed the Ruach of Elohim dwells in you.
Yeah.
And if anyone does not have the Ruach of Mashiach, this one is not his.
Yes, ma'am.
And if the Mashiach is in you, the body is truly dead on account of crime. But the Ruach is life on account of righteousness.
Yes, ma'am.
And if the Ruach of him who raised Yahushua from the dead dwells in you, he who raised Mashiach from the dead shall also give life to your mortal bodies.
We've been raised to life with him. Come on.
Through his Ruach dwelling in you. So then, brothers, we are not debtors to the flesh, to live according to the flesh. For if you live according to the flesh, you are going to die.
Yes, ma'am.
But if by the Ruach you put to death the deeds of the body,
what?
You shall live.
You shall live.
For as many as are led by the Ruach of Elohim.
For as many who are led by the Ruach of Elohim, whom he tabernacles with, whom his bright nature resides in, who are they?
These are the sons of Elohim.
These are the sons of Elohim. Come on, read.
For you did not receive the Ruach of bondage again to fear, but you received the Ruach of adoption, by whom we cry out,
come,
Abba, Father.
Yeah, come on.
The Ruach himself bears witness with our Ruach,
yes,
that we are children of Elohim.
Read.
And if children, also heirs.
Yes.
Truly heirs of Elohim and co-heirs with Mashiach.
Yeah.
If indeed we suffer with him, in order that we also be exalted together. For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worth comparing with the esteem that is to be revealed in us. For the intense longing of the creation.
Wait, right here. For the what?
For the intense longing of the creation.
With what?
Eagerly waits for the revealing of the sons of Elohim.
For the what?
For the sons of Elohim.
For the revealing of the sons of Elohim. Oh, there's a people hidden that's getting ready to be revealed. The sons of Elohim. This example that we see here on the Mount of Transfiguration, the Mount of Transformation. There's a people who is getting ready to be revealed, who don't understand what is in them, who is in them. That this very same example that is shown on the Mount of Transformation that he's showing to them. This is in us. As sons of Elohim, this is in us. Now come on, go back.
Okay. Kneeling down to him and saying, Master, have compassion on my son, for he is an epileptic and suffers badly. For he often falls into the fire and often into the water. And I brought him to your taught ones, but they were unable to heal him. And Yahusha answering said, O generation, unbelieving and perverted.
O generation, unbelieving and perverted. An unbelieving and perverse generation. Synonymous. Unbelieving used synonymous with perverse. To be unbelieving is perverseness. Yes, it is. Because if you don't believe, you will do perverseness. Yes, you will. You will do any manner of perverse thing if you don't believe in Elohim, in Yahuwah, our Elohim. You will do every manner of perverse thing. It stems from unbelief. Perverseness stems, is birth via unbelief. It is synonymous. Oh, you unbelieving and perverse generation. How long?
How long shall I be with you?
How long shall I be with you? That's the message that he spoke to us at Sukkot. How long shall he be with us? He's getting ready to remove himself from an unbelieving and perverse generation. If we but believe. Listen. We are but flesh and blood, as Mashiach was but flesh and blood. But flesh. But he showed that Yahuwah himself can dwell in vessels, in vessels of dirt, in earthen vessels. And he showed what vessels of earth, what earthen vessels of dirt can do. What the master can do through vessels of dirt. He showed us. And he showed us who we are on the Mount of Transfiguration. So it's not the vessel of dirt that we believe in. It's not the vessel of dirt that we worship. It is Elohim who works through the vessel of dirt. If we simply believe in him, if we simply believe that he dwells in a vessel of dirt, and that he, through that vessel of dirt, can do every manner of thing. He can. He can do every manner of thing. He can. But it's because of unbelief. It is because of unbelief that many remain unhealed, that many remain sick, and that many remain in bondage. It is because of unbelief. With the Mashiach, it was because of unbelief. And furthermore, we find at when he went home to Nazareth, it was because of familiarity. They could not believe that he was anything other than the carpenter's son. And so he could not do many miracles there because of their unbelief. But this people whom the master is getting ready to reveal, of whom he's getting ready to send to the nations of where people are hungry, where people are desperate, where people are thirsty, where, as he spoke last Shabbat, they don't have a plan B. They don't have a medical plan or a dental plan or a retirement plan, or they don't know where their next meal is coming from. They don't know if these clothes wear out. They don't know where their next pair of clothes is coming from. They don't know where their next pair of shoes is coming from. If they have a toothache, they don't have nowhere to turn. They don't have a plan B. They're hungry and they're thirsty. There's a people that he's getting ready to reveal, that he's getting ready to send to the nations. To gather the rest of his remnant people. To bring them within the safety of the confines of his fence. To bring them there and to gather them there behind the safety of his fence, preparing them to board the ark, which has been seen, to bring them to Mount Zion and give them a song that no one else can sing. Most of that remnant is not coming from it's not coming from Western society. It's not coming from Western society. Most of that remnant is coming from amongst the nations, to where there's a true desperation, where there's a true hunger and where there's a true thirst. The West is perverse. All of the West is perverse. And the West is perverse because of unbelief. This wicked nation in which we live, called the United States of America, is the most wicked and perverse nation on this flat plane earth. This wicked and perverse nation is number one in exporting pornography across the world. Number one in abortions. Number one in same-sex marriage and bestiality and all manner of perverseness. And this wicked, perverse nation is peddling this perverseness to all of the earth. And we've grown up, whether you submit to it or not, it's ingrained in your nefesh. It's there. It's there. The American dream was engraved into your nefesh. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. And whether your piece of the American dream was done legally or illegally, most of us wanted our share, wanted our part of the American dream, which is idolatry. It is idolatry. And this is why it's so hard for some of you to get rid of that wickedness and perverseness that's in you. It was ingrained in you from the time you were born. This Western society, as the Master spoke last week, is our enemy. It is our adversary. And there are many things that are still that are lying dormant as a result of this wicked, perverse nation, as a result of this wicked, perverse Western society that keeps us from truly hungering and thirsting and chasing after the Master. Oh, this is a wicked, unbelieving, and perverse generation. A wicked, unbelieving, and perverse nation. Many things cannot be accomplished here. Many things cannot be accomplished because of unbelief and perverseness. But he's getting ready to unveil a people hidden, to go to a people that are hungry. Hear him. His eyes go to and fro across the whole earth, looking for a heart that's perfect towards him. He searches for one who is lovingly committed towards him. And he is lovingly committed towards a lovingly committed one. It's hard to find a lovingly committed one in this perverse nation or in the perverse West. It's hard. It's hard. And so there's a people hidden whom he's getting ready to reveal, to go to the nations to gather his people, to gather his remnant, in which the Master declared last Shabbat was 144,000 across the whole of this earth. Who will believe? Who will believe? Indeed, some will not believe. Even if they see a people who was hidden, are shining as the brilliance of the sun, some still won't believe. Did not Moshe come down and his face radiated, his face was brilliant, but they still rebelled against it? Yes, they did. They still rebelled against it. Many were still destroyed after that point. They were still destroyed. Even though he came and his face radiated as the Father, they still rebelled. And in this wicked, perverse West, even if a people is unveiled and revealed, many will still not believe. Many will still not believe. You unbelieving and perverse generation, read.
How long shall I put up with you?
How long shall I put up with you? He won't be here long. He will not be here much longer, you wicked, unbelieving, and perverse nation. You wicked, unbelieving, and perverse generation. He will not suffer with us much longer. He is not going to suffer with the nations much longer before his judgment and his wrath comes down upon the nations. Unbelieving and perverse. And you're perverse because you're unbelieving. Come on, read.
bring him here to me. And Yahusha rebuked the demon, and he came out of him, and the child was healed from that hour. Then the taught ones came to Yahusha by himself and said, why were we unable to cast him out? And Yahusha said to them, because of your unbelief. For truly I say to you, if you have belief as a mustard seed, you shall say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it shall move, and no matter shall be impossible for you. But this kind does not go out except through prayer and fasting. And while they were staying in Galal, Yahusha said to them, the son of Adam is about to be delivered up into the hands of men, and they shall kill him, and the third day he shall be raised up. And they were deeply grieved. And when they came into Capharnaum, those who received the tax came to Kaffa and said, does your teacher not pay the tax? He said, yes. And when he came into the house, Yahusha spoke to him first, saying, what do you think, Shamun? From whom do the sovereigns of the earth take toll or tax? From their own sons or from the strangers? Kaffa then said to him, from the strangers. Yahusha said to him, then the sons are exempt. But lest we cause them to stumble, go to the sea, cast in a hook, and take the fish that comes up first. And when you have opened his mouth, you shall find a stater. Take that and give it to them for me and you.
Thank you, Master. Thank you, Master. The sons are exempt.
Thank you.
Barak Yahuwah, Barak Yahuwah, Barak Yahuwah. The message that the Master wanted to get across, and the rest of this was just extra, was we just left the Feast of Tabernacle, in which Master wanted the tabernacle in us. He wanted the tabernacle in us. He was there knocking at the door because he wants to tabernacle in us. This is the consummation of the times. This is the time when he is preparing to reveal a people hidden, in order to send to the nations, in order to gather his remnant from the nations, and to bring them within the safety of the confines of his fence. And so there was a unique opportunity at the Feast of Tabernacle to tabernacle with him and us in him. And only if he is truly tabernacling in us. Is that hidden thing in which was read with respect to the Mount of Transformation. That hidden thing, that hidden power, that healing brilliance, that restoration back to our bright nature, the promise that he gave to Adam that he was going to restore his bright nature and bring him back into the garden. Only if he is tabernacling in us, dwelling in us as his tabernacle, as his sukkah, is that hidden bright nature within us. And again, the Master has spoken that he's getting ready to do a greater separation in this earth. He's getting ready to do a greater separation. And when that people hidden is revealed, and that bright nature is being revealed, there is going to be a clear distinction between who is his and who are not. And so the Master, as long as you are hearing his words, the Feast of Tabernacle is behind us. But that does not mean that he does not still wants to tabernacle with you. That does not mean that you have lost your chance to tabernacle with the Master, to receive his bright nature, to truly receive his bright nature. Once he removes his bright nature from this earth, once he removes his living water, once he removes his breath, once he removes his Ruach HaKadosh, the world will not see him again until the time of the adversaries come to an end, until the time of death has ended. This is who we are, beloved ones, as sons of Elohim. But we are not sons of Elohim as the picture depicted when Kaffa, not knowing what he said, let me build booths here. Let me build sukkahs here. Let me build sukkahs here. We're not sons of Elohim unless we are his booth, unless he dwells in us. And if we truly are sons of Elohim and he tabernacles with us, this, what we see here on the Mount of Transformation, this is who we are. I draw your attention again to Romans chapter 12, verses 1 and 2. I beseech you, brethren, by the mercies of Elohim, to present your bodies as a living offering, kadosh, and acceptable unto him, for this is our reasonable service. And do not be conformed to this world, but be ye transformed, metamorphosis, as a caterpillar goes into a cocoon and emerges as a new creature. Metamorphosis as a new creature. As we saw the Mashiach transform, a metamorphosis take place, and he transformed and he shone as the sun. But be ye transformed, metamorpho. But be ye renewed by the transforming of your minds, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of Yahuwah, our Elohim. Many left the Feast of Tabernacle without that metamorpho, without that transformation. Some did, some didn't. But many left there without that transformation, without that metamorpho, without him indwelling and tabernacling with them, and leaving without his bright nature. Leaving without that bright nature that we see, that bright nature that he promised to Adam to restore. But if you indeed receive his breath, if he is indeed in you and you in him, if you are indeed one with him, thank you, Master. If he is tabernacling in you, then what we see depicted here in the 17th chapter of Matthew, this is in us. This is who we are as sons of Elohim. This is who we are. Get the understanding now of what it means to tabernacle with him. That means that he is in you, that his bright nature is in you, and you are a son of Elohim, and this bright nature is in you. The example that we see here on this mount of transformation, this bright nature is in us. And this people, very soon, very shortly, will be revealed. This is crunch time. This is crunch time. This is where the rubber meets the road. This is what this thing is all about. This is about the restoration of sonship, of sonship, of being called his sons and his daughters. This is about the restoration of being called sons of Elohim. And we can only be called sons of Elohim unless he is tabernacling in us. And if he is tabernacling in us, as he tabernacled in a body that he created from dirt, as he tabernacled in this body that he created from dirt, and he called that body in which he tabernacled in, created from dirt, he called it Yahusha. He called it Yahusha. And he placed his bright nature in it. And this very same bright nature is in us. If we're tabernacling with him, the master said so. He said so. He said, greater works you gonna do than I did. He said, greater works you shall do than I did. Because I go to the Father. And because I go to the Father, I'm going to send this bright nature back down. To keep my promise, not only to Adam, but to Abraham. To keep my promise and to renew and to restore the everlasting covenant. And that covenant is renewed and restored when? When my bright nature enters into you. When I give you my bright nature, whereby you become my son and my daughter, my covenant has then been renewed and restored with you. You still have a unique opportunity, Zion. You still have a unique opportunity while it's still time, while a greater separation is going on, to receive that bright nature and to understand what that bright nature looks like. The Mashiach left an example for us, Yahudah. He left an example of what it looks like to be Yahudym, what it looks like to walk as Yahudym. And now he's here on the Mount of Transformation, he's given us a supernatural idea, a picture or fact of what it looks like to be Yahudym. And that is to be restored as his covenant people, as we would never divorce, and to have that bright nature that he promised to Adam restored and renewed in us. I pray you continue to seek him, Yahudah. I pray that you continue, because he is the Feast of Tabernacle. Feast of Tabernacle isn't over. It's not over. We tabernacle. We can tabernacle with him every day and feast in him every day and celebrate our tabernacle with him, tabernacling with him every single day. Provided that he is in you and you are in him. It has not ended. It has not ended. We can still tabernacle with him and celebrate the Feast of Tabernacle with him, provided that he's in you. The invitation is still going forward. He's still pleading with you, Yahuwah. He's still pleading with the nations. Come and tabernacle with me. Let me restore the bright nature that I promised to Adam, to mankind. Let me restore it in you. I died to restore that bright nature in you. I shed my dung. I shed my blood. I poured out my bright nature upon the earth, upon the ground. I poured out my bright nature upon the ground so that you, being ground, can partake of my bright nature and have the right to become sons of Elohim, not of the desire of man nor of flesh, but of Elohim. But of Elohim. Thank you, Master, for this reminder. Thank you, Master, for your bright nature. Thank you for showing us who we are. Thank you for showing us who we truly are when we look with eyes that can see and listen with ears that can hear and feel with hearts that understand that haven't grown fat from this westernized culture. This is who we are. This bright nature is in us. This is who we are. Provided that there's a booth built, that we are tabernacling with you, truly tabernacling with you. This is who we are as sons of Elohim. For as many who are led by the Ruach of Elohim, these are the sons of Elohim. This is who we are. We are your son. You came as your son. This bright nature on the Mount of Transformation is who we are. You and us and you. And you are coming soon. You are getting ready to reveal a people hidden soon, to send to the nations, to gather a people who are hungry and thirsty, a people who have not heard your truth, but who are hungry and who will receive your truth, a people who are sick, people who are demon-possessed, people who are in bondage to the adversary, in bondage to ancestral worship, in bondage to spirit worship, in bondage to witchcraft and voodoo. Afraid of them. Soon, a people is going to be revealed who you're going to send to them, and they will hungrily receive your truth and come into the bond of covenant with you, and come beyond the confines of the safety of your fence, just in the nick of time, to board your ark and to be brought to Mount Zion and to be giving a song that no one else can sing. I pray that this word has not fallen by the wayside, nor has it fallen on shallow soil. I pray that it has not fallen amongst thorns, but that it has fallen on fertilized soil, good dirt, made conducive to the planting of seed, such that your Ruach HaKodesh, the living water, would come and water that seed, such that it would grow to become a tree, a fruit-bearing tree, producing good fruit with no rotten fruit, producing the fruit that leads to everlasting life, first fruit, choice fruit, fruit that you would be pleased to gather as first fruit, to be weighed before you as a first fruit offering, well-pleasing and acceptable unto you. In Yahush's name, so be it. Those of you on YouTube, once again, we're grateful that you've stopped by to celebrate this Shabbat Yom with us. We pray that you've gotten something from the words that the Master has spoken, that a renewed sense of urgency has been placed in you, understanding that a greater separation is taking place. A greater separation is taking place. A greater separation is indeed taking place. I pray that you take heed. I pray that you would continue to seek the Master like you've ever sought him before, to tabernacle with him and you, you and him, so that this bright nature that the Master speaks of, that we see here on the Mount of Transformation, can reside and live in you. Until the next time, Yahuwah barak you and guard you. Yahuwah make his face shine upon you and show favor unto you. Yahuwah lift up his face upon you and give you shalom. Thus you shall put my name on the children of Yasharal, and I myself shall barak them. So be it. So be it. So be it. Shalom.